Hello and welcome to this episode of the Guys with Glasses podcast. I'm Bendito John, and I have with me No Name Josh. Hey, buddy.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. So we're gonna change things up a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about our personal lives, about our weekends.
Yeah.
So, how was your weekend, Josh?
Mine was awesome, minus the fact that I lost another GoPro camera. It's a whole nother $150
So this is the second one.
down. Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, dude. So, well, back up a little bit. What happened to your first GoPro camera?
I was riding a quad down at the sand dunes, and it happened to just rattle off and disappeared into the sand. I'm sure 1,000 years from now, some archaeologist is going to dig that up. And they're like, oh my god, it's an amazing find. But, and then this weekend, it was lost off a boat, and I don't know if people say they do float, but they definitely do not. They sink very quickly.
So, I mean, GoPro cameras, these are indestructible, you're supposed to use them for, like, extreme, boating or, skateboarding and stuff. You are definitely using them in these situations, and they have been lost both times.
Yes, it drives me nuts. The biggest insult is the fact that I bought just recently two 64 gig cards, and it went with it. I'm so pissed off about that. So.
Oh
whatever.
my god. So, are you going to get a third one?
Somebody might get one for my birthday. I think my mom and my brothers might get me one. I was so pissed off, though. Well, it was just like a freak occurrence. The tow rope for the inner tube, slipped off and just yanked the camera with it. It sucked so bad. We had so much awesome footage, too.
Oh,
whatever.
I'm sorry, buddy.
But you
okay.
You did some studying this weekend.
I did. So, I don't really know anything about Linux, so I was studying Linux over the weekend. Yeah, if you're not familiar with that, Linux is an operating system like Windows or the Apple operating system. Yeah, it's free. It's open source, so anyone can modify it. So yeah, I was installing Linux in a virtual machine environment, which is geeky now. It was fun.
So, did you learn anything? Did you feel like you just soaked in a lot of knowledge?
I did, actually. I was online reading tutorials, and they have this thing called the terminal, and the terminal is basically like the command prompt in Windows, where you're typing in stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like a total badass when I was typing in things into the terminal.
Felt like
I was
you're in Hackers, the movie?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was all black and white, and I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm typing in, but I'm typing in exactly what this website tells me to type in to practice this. I felt like a badass. It was awesome. Yeah,
I could totally
I was
see
in the
it.
Matrix, man.
Yeah.
I was wearing...
You're bringing people out into the real world.
Yeah, I was wearing my trench coat and my black sunglasses.
Oh man, indoors at night.
Hey, geek story time actually. For the Matrix 2 premiere, I went to it at midnight, and my friend made me dress up, and so I dressed up like Neo at midnight. It was so lame.
That's amazing. Fun. I wish is there a picture of this? Cause
there may be one floating out there, but you will never see it.
Oh man, I was like, I want to post that to Facebook.
that is in the deep dark trenches of no one will ever find it. Yeah, actually, it's pretty funny. So my high school 10-year reunion is coming up.
Oh, awesome!
And there was this Facebook page, and people are talking about it and posting up some old pictures. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. There's pictures of me, in this shirt. I think I was wearing this extra large, and I'm a short guy, and at the time I was 5 foot
Looks
tall,
like a
maybe.
moo-moo.
Yeah, it totally does look like a moo-moo. Oh, so lame.
That's
so
amazing.
Lame. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I was doing this weekend. My wife, she got the new Paper Mario game on 3DS, Sticker Star Saga, so she's been playing that. Haven't had a chance to check it out yet, though. But
does she like it?
She does like it a lot. She's always liked all the Paper Mario and Mario RPG games, Mario and Luigi games, the kind of RPG-ness.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's liked them all. Yeah, she says it's hard, though. She says it's difficult.
See, I like that, I think.
Challenging.
I like Mario being a little difficult.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It makes it, yeah.
What else are we going to talk about today?
Oh, so we want to talk about some of our favorite Netflix shows. We've been watching some of these Netflix original programs, so we want to kind of chat about that a little bit. And then also the Phil Fish Fez story that's come out. That's kind of hit the gadget and gaming blogs. That's a big story. So yeah, on that topic, let's talk about Fez actually, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So this was to give our listeners some background into this. It's kind of an interesting history. Fez is this indie game kind of darling. People have really liked it. It was featured in the indie game documentary movie, and the game was pretty much made by one person. And it was in development for years. I want to say like 4 or 5 years by this one guy, and turns out the guy is actually kind of a giant dick.
Well,
He's
I don't know about a dick, but kind of a pussy.
well, he has not been the best with his PR. That's the advantage of running your own company and developing this game yourself, is that you kind of have to wear many hats, and he has to wear kind of a PR hat. And he's on Twitter, and he's got a lot of followers. A lot of people listen to him with this big game, and he said things such as Japanese games are irrelevant, or something to that effect. He says kind of hurtful, mean, angry things to his fans, which is something you should never do. Yeah, just kind of all sorts of stuff. And a lot of people said, well, your game sucks, or, you suck. I loved his game. I thought it was one of the most amazing games I played last year. It was just really fresh and awesome. You can play the game. You don't have to know anything about him, but, he is popular in the gaming blogs and is written about a lot because of kind of his nature. But yeah, so the crazy news that happened is that I guess there was this guy that was a part of the IGN or something videos, and he was talking about him, and he was talking about the whole Xbox One news that was going on. And basically with Xbox One, it was kind of unclear about the indie publishers and about if they're going to be able to self-publish games on the platform. And this guy was calling the Fez creator out because he wasn't providing any commentary on this. He's a big guy in this space. He's one of the figureheads, and he's not providing an opinion. And so this guy, who's kind of known for kind of, I guess, pulling shit, is just trashing him basically on this. And then Phil Fish, the creator of Fez, got basically butthurt about it and said, screw it, I'm not making the sequel to Fez. I'm tired of all you haters. Screw you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had like a huge spat, and then he's with somebody on Facebook, or not Facebook, Twitter, and then he's like, "Oh, that's not the reason why. It's all these other reasons," and blah blah blah. I don't like the guy. He's annoying. And then when he
I don't like him either.
Like what that guy said, when you should have spoke out, you didn't speak out. You bash your fans and you say infuriating things, which to me, Japanese games are irrelevant. I mean, I don't ever play them. I haven't played them since I was a kid.
I think they're relevant for a certain subset of fans, but that's another side topic.
Well,
but yeah,
I think they are relevant to certain areas, but in the United States, I think they're essentially gone. I don't think there's a huge market for it over here. I mean,
I'll say Ni no Kuni was freaking amazing, and that was the first JRPG I played in years. I love that game.
Yeah,
but you need to borrow. I need to let you borrow that, because that was an awesome game.
Yeah, well, actually, I guess it doesn't really matter what market it comes from for me, just as long as it's good. That's all I want from it, is to be entertained.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, if there's a good Japanese game, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna play it because it's Japan." I hate when people do that, where they're like, "Oh, I don't play American RPGs because they're not as good as JRPGs." It's like, if it's a good game, then why just immediately blow it off if it's not in that vein? Anyway, back to Phil Fish.
So my issue with the situation is that the guy just seems like, he's dealing all this trash, and then he can't handle the trash back. Or
yeah. Yeah.
maybe this is kind of the final straw of the trash.
If you're gonna
And
dish it, you better be able to take it.
yeah, and he should have just given up and just not, just make your damn game, like don't feed the trolls here. I mean, you're gonna have haters. It doesn't matter. I mean, you made a crap ton of money on your game. Like, who cares? Just
Yeah.
do what you're best at and don't be a public figurehead. I mean, there's all these other game creators that they're just not on Twitter, or they're not, providing all their input like this. I think actually a good example is Notch, the creator of Minecraft.
Yeah.
I follow him on Twitter, and he does provide his opinion in certain ways, and he also gives insight into the game's progress that he's making, some ideas that he's thinking about, interesting things that he's retweeting or that he's linking to. Like, that is a person that I want to follow. I think it's interesting, and I don't always agree with Notch's opinions on stuff, but he's not a dick. He's not a dick to his fans.
No, and I think that's like the biggest thing that Phil Fish, like, to burn your fans and then be bent that they're gonna come after you about it is just idiotic to me. Like, don't do it then.
Yeah.
Don't purposely go after somebody and then be upset when they come after you and call it, you're like, oh, you guys win because, you're always coming after me. It's like, stop whining about this. I hope that somebody else can deal with this, because I think Polytron's run by multiple people now, correct?
Yeah, I think a small team has been formed up by this. I don't know all the roles, but Phil Fish is kind of the figurehead for this, and it's his creation.
Yeah.
With Fez, I know he was doing the whole level design, character design, gameplay.
Well, I kind of hope somebody else kind of picks up the mantle and maybe if they're able to and finishes the game. I think that they could. Somebody who worked closely with him could do just as good a job.
I think, honestly, I think after this blows over in the next couple of weeks, he'll come back.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh man, people will berate the crap out of him when he comes back, though. And then he'll be gone again.
Yeah. I mean, this is also frustrating because it's like, I love Fez. For some people, it's just not their cup of tea, but I thought it was an amazingly well done and well thought out and creative game. And I would love to see a sequel to this. And I think there's a lot of smart ideas floating around in his head. I just wish he
well,
didn't
why not just stop your Twitter account? Cancel your Twitter account if you don't want to get hate.
Yeah.
Get a thick skin, because every single person, no matter how awesome they are or how douchey they are, they have lovers and haters, and you're just going to have to deal with the hating, Because those are going to be the loudest people, is people who hate you. It's like, when a restaurant gets a bad score, it doesn't mean that it's a particularly bad restaurant. It's just people who had a bad experience are going to hate it, and they're going to yell about it, while somebody with a good experience or average isn't going to post on Yelp,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is why, I like to view Rotten Tomatoes, because Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregate. I mean, you can have an 80% is actually, a really damn good movie,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to please everyone. It's when when I'm looking for an apartment or something, and I see apartment reviews, people that write up there are generally going to be negative or angry, people don't usually write good things about stuff. So it's like, you try to get kind of a basis here. And with Fez in that situation, I was really excited. I played it at PAX a few years prior to it coming out. I was following it for a couple of years, and when it came out, I thought it was really good. And yeah, I mean, if this guy is getting a lot of hate in these mediums, just ignore him, whatever. I mean, this guy has been successful. I mean, his game was a smashing success.
Yeah.
That should just tell you that, sales are what matter. It doesn't matter that you have a vocal minority that just, are a bunch of jerks. And likewise, don't feed the trolls. I mean, don't be a jerk back, and don't say controversial things, because then you're going to lose out on good customers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as somebody on the fence, that either didn't play the first one or was into it but not super into it, when you attack them for it, then you've decided your own fate. That sale's probably gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, and
why
do
would you
it?
want to do that to yourself? Yeah. Why?
He drives me insane.
Shut up.
He was I was reading an article about the indie game documentary, And
Yeah, that's actually a good movie if you've never watched it.
yeah,
It's good. It's
well,
on Netflix.
on Game Informer, they were talking about, where are they now? And, they were talking about Phil Fish, and they're like, the guy who came across as a douche in the film, is now working on, Fez 2 and
Well, you
blah,
know
blah,
what's
blah.
actually interesting is he, in the movie, I don't. He comes across as a little bit of a douche, but I think it's way more douchey, like in his Twitter account. Based on what he's done. I mean, in the movie, I mean, he kind of just thinks he's like all that in a bag of chips. And maybe that's the case. Maybe you have a reason to gloat. When he's won all these awards and stuff before the game is released. But I think the movie portrayed him better, I think, than even he is in real life, which is
Yeah, yeah.
kind of sad.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly it. It's sad when in the movie you're like, man, that guy's kind of a douche, and they're trying to make him kind of look good,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sad about Fez 2 not being made, but I'm not sad that he decided to quit because he's a douche.
Did you play Fez?
I didn't play the full game, and I feel bad about that. This is why Nick needs to get good internet, is because he played that game all the way through. I
Oh,
only played
okay.
a little bit when he was still here, so...
Yeah, I thought it kind of, just talking about the game aspect of it, the game is interesting. If you've never heard of it, it's basically a 2D kind of platforming puzzle game. But you press R trigger, and then it basically rotates the world. And then everything goes back into a 2D mode. So it's kind of interesting in that, like, you're rotating across a 3D space, but then it goes to a 2D space. So, like, when you rotate, things that might have been a big gap that you couldn't jump are now close together. And certain things about the game I thought were just fascinating. Like, there was actually like a whole hidden language and a whole hidden alphabet, and you could translate things, and that could open up secret puzzles. There was a whole like layer to the game that I thought that was just fascinating. And then it had a really, really trippy ending. And what was cool is that after you beat the game, it unlocked this mode that you can go into first person view. And when you did, you could go into first person at any time. And we did that. If you did a new game, you could play through it again. You could see things that you couldn't see before. So now, like, you could look down at the grass, or you could look up at certain parts. And so now there's actually like hidden parts of the game that you had to play through again. And I just thought, that took a lot of foresight,
Yeah.
and that was something that was really creative.
I really thought the moving of the
Yeah,
world was cool. I was like, that is
it
a
was.
cool idea. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been itching to make the Fez character out of perler beads. This is my embarrassing. This is God. I tell so many embarrassing secrets on this podcast, like the Star Wars story and everything. But yeah, I like making stuff with perler beads. They're normally meant for like 10-year-old girls. This is so embarrassing. But they're like little they're little circular cylindrical beads that you can put together, and then you iron them, and then they stick together. And people make like little 8-bit, Mario or game characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can make like ponies and crap. But like I've done like Invader Zim and stuff. Yeah.
A friend of
Yeah.
mine made a 8-bit Mario cake. It was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
that's cool.
huge. Took up like a bunch of the table. They made it out of like, I can't remember how many cupcakes she said, but it was like huge. This whole thing was massive.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty rad. She was
Yeah.
super proud of it.
Oh, I bet that sounds like a lot of work, man.
Hell
It's
yeah.
dedication.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about Netflix and some of these recent Netflix shows we've been watching.
Exactly. Well, yeah, for me, it's Arrested Development, and I know that wasn't originally a Netflix show, but I had already watched all the previous seasons on Fox, and
Yeah.
the fourth season is great. I have been addicted to this show, and I'm so glad that Netflix is now like doing their own content, because it kind of draws you back to Netflix. I stopped paying for it for a really long time, and then recently, me and Cassie started paying for it again, and I'm excited to start watching House of Cards, and I'm really I'm like addicted to Arrested Development. I've rewatched the whole thing just because.
So the latest season that just appeared on Netflix, the new season, it's basically like a movie, right? That's been chopped up.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
It's I won't give away any spoilers. It's just great, and I like the fact that Netflix is actually doing this, and I think it's good for them to draw people back with good shows.
See, I can't watch Arrested Development,
I
actually.
know.
I've never even seen an episode because two actors which I despise are in that show. I hate Will Arnett and I hate Jason Bateman. And I don't know why I hate them. It is an irrational hate. You know, I've seen movies with both of them in it. They are fine actors. I just hate their face. I don't know why.
It's so funny.
And I can't stand I can't stand anything that they're in. I like the other people. The other people, what's the young kid that was in Juno?
Michael Cera.
Yeah, I like him. You know, a lot of people don't like him. I think he's funny, but I can't stand the other two guys. Yeah.
What I really find funny is the mom and the dad in that show are like lovers in Archer, the TV show.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to get into Archer. You love that show.
I love it. I love that show. It is disgusting and funny. Oh man, it's so amazing.
So, the other couple of Netflix shows that you mentioned, which I have loved, is House of Cards.
Yeah.
I was super addicted to that and powered through it. And you know, this is interesting, is that I think House of Cards was like the #1 watched show on Netflix, and they released the whole season at once, and so people could power through it. And it was kind of like Breaking Bad, where it had a kind of a revitalization on Netflix, you know, when people could binge watch it.
Yeah.
And House of Cards is just phenomenal, just amazingly well done, like super high production. I mean, this could be sit right along with any HBO show. Just like big budget, big actors, just really, really well done acting. And then lately, oh man, this weekend, on top of just kind of playing around with computer stuff, I was watching watching Orange Is the New Black, and that show is hilarious. It's like, it's a dark comedy that's kind of like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, I know you introduced me to that show.
Yeah.
You love that show.
I love that show.
And yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like, it's not a show that's meant for kids. And there's just like some really messed up situations, but they are hilarious, and it is just really, really well done. Just love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I actually want to get into it. I've seen the commercials. It looks pretty funny. I think me and Cassie will enjoy it, so I'm excited to go and take a look.
I want to chat with you about it, because maybe we'll do that on the next week's episode, because it was hilarious. And it's interesting because in that show, it's set up in a situation of a women's prison, you know, and you're kind of seeing the life there. That's not typically a scenario that you get to see a lot in shows. So it really dives into that, and it dives into how people got there, and also and it's also funny because I think like some of the worst people in the show are the most funny, which is kind of like, I mean, that's you know, Always Sunny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, these are bad people, but this is hilarious.
Yeah. Those are some of my favorites. We were talking about, me and Cassie were talking about dark comedies this weekend, and it's like the Addams Family movies, and there's one where they kill the babysitter and they're trying to get rid of her, and like the early to mid 90s was like dark comedy gold. I don't know. It was pretty funny.
Oh, actually, on that topic that you just mentioned, like kind of classic 90s shows, I was watching some Saturday morning cartoons. I got to watch the new Ninja Turtle show. Or maybe it's not even new. Maybe it's been around for like years. It's actually like pretty good. Yeah,
I know. Actually, I watch it, and Cassie made fun of me a couple weeks ago because I was watching it at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Eating cereal like a child.
It's not bad. It was pretty funny, I thought. It's pretty well done.
Yeah, I like it. And okay, on Netflix, I binge watched all of X-Men, man. I loved that show as a kid, and then I just went through the animated series, man. Just bombed.
With like Gambit and stuff?
Yeah, well, it's got like, you know, all the X-Men. Gambit, Wolverine, Storm and all that
Cyclops
stuff.
And...
Do you remember that as a kid?
Nice. Yeah, I do. Hells yeah, I do.
I just powered through that thing, and I started watching Spider-Man, but I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, me and my wife, we were watching like the old Nickelodeon shows. We were watching Hey Arnold and like Angry Beavers.
Oh yeah,
love that show.
I was thinking like, Are You Afraid of the Dark and that kind of stuff.
Oh, classic, man. Okay, that was That was our Friday. Was that Friday nights? Or
Yeah,
Saturday
Friday
night?
nights.
Saturday
Yeah.
nights. Yeah, Friday nights. Yeah, yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was some scary shit back in the day.
I know. As a child, it's terrifying, but me and me and Cassie watched one recently, and we're like, "Wow, I can't believe we thought this was scary." It was
I
so
just remember one
amusing.
episode where this person got like trapped in a pinball machine that was in a mall, and it's frightening.
Well,
Lame,
the one
lame
we,
now, but
yeah, yeah.
the time
Uh,
was super scary.
well, we saw the one
Yeah.
where it was kind of like Little Shop of Horrors, where the guy was like trying to genetically mix plants with animals, and he ends up changing.
It kind of reminds me of like
It's
the
ridiculous.
Goosebumps books where they were cranking out like one a month.
Oh, I know.
Remember?
That was crazy for a little while, man. I remember I had a ton of those books. I swear I had like 20 of
I'm
them.
pretty sure there was a ghostwriter because I don't think that R.L. Stine could write every one of those every month.
Oh, hell no. Unless they wrote them ahead of time and then just released them 1 month at a time.
I mean, that's a hell of a lot of writing
Heck yeah.
to crank out a full book. Oh man.
But I don't know, maybe not so bad, because I mean, I don't know. How many
they were
pages
pretty
were those
simple, yeah.
things?
I don't know.
Couple-
Maybe like 150.
Yeah, as I say,
100.
150, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a lot of writing, I guess. I was just thinking of a paper I wrote that was like 9 pages long, and I was like, man, that was, took forever. So
Yeah, get back to work writing your other 141 pages.
exactly.
Don't come out of your locked room until you're done it.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm excited. Oh, by the way, Cassie started writing reviews for books, so I'm gonna send it to
On
you.
Amazon?
And what was that?
Writing reviews for books just for fun on
Well,
Amazon?
No, She wants to write. She wanted to write some reviews, and I was pushing her to do it also. And I think we're gonna post them on the website actually.
Oh, reviews for stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
reviews for games and movies. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like, okay,
Like,
okay, awesome.
she reread Ender's Game and did a review on that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna email that to you and see how you like the format. And if it doesn't look good, we can change it. I just wanted to let people know there's gonna be new content coming to the site, and hopefully soon.
Awesome.
We'll have that stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have our
on,
friend
iTunes.
Andrew starting. Yeah, we're gonna have our friend Andrew also starting to write.
Yeah.
A little bit. He's gonna have a weekly column. Yeah, we're gonna start having some fantastic original content.
Yeah.
So
listeners,
we're also gonna get our podcast on iTunes finally.
Yes, that is going to happen.
Hopefully soon. Me and Josh were planning that out a lot over this past weekend.
It's been a nightmare.
Oh man.
I don't know how.
Yes, it.
Yeah. It's just
because we're cheap asses. We were trying to find a way to do it without paying, and we went through so much heartache, and that's why it took us 3 months to figure this out.
Exactly.
Until now, we just realized. Now we're just like we have to pay it, and now it's easy.
Yeah, it'll be set up in a couple of hours. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, you know what? You should visit nextgennerds.com. Every day if you can, and see all the new stuff that's going to be coming to the site. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. You guys will
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
have some sweet content to look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
Well,
I think
that
that's
wraps
it.
up this week's. Yeah, that wraps up this week's episode. Okay, so the reason why we're cutting this at exactly 30 minutes, we have about 1 minute left, is because we're trying to find a free host and we have to keep it down to 30 minutes a week. So that's why we just hit 29 minutes. So I think we're good, Josh. We're right on time here, buddy.
All right, what are we talking about next week? Mario. Sticker Mario.
Mario. Let's talk about Paper Mario. Yeah.
And
Let's talk about that one.
I don't know what else.
I'm gonna find out the sex of my baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, that's exciting.
I don't know. We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll have Andrew on and he can talk a little bit about his zombie column. How about that?
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a good topic. All right. Well, this is Bandito John.
And No Name Josh.
Signing off. Thanks.